Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm here trying to get the third video of the Be Like Lilies series up and running. This is about my fourth take on it, and I'm here on the bed with baby Judy and my crochet hook. Thank you. I wanted to share with you that today is the last day of school, and the people who are in school are in second grade and kindergarten. And I have to say that when my anxiety journey started, this day seemed so far off in the future. There was no way that the thought of school was going to help me when I was in the midst of all my anxiety. But for today, I want to share with you some of my story and some of what was going through my head and what I experienced when I found out that we were going to have those 3 babies in less than 3 years. We're a Catholic married couple, and we practice natural family planning, and the method that we practice is the Creighton method of natural family planning. You're fine. And there are several church-approved methods, and I highly encourage you to find one that works for you. And we are both really happy with the Creighton method. Over here. We're both really happy with the Creighton method. We're super impressed with the scientific nature of it and the fact that it can, you can use it to plan your pregnancies and avoid a pregnancy when used accurately. I think the numbers are like 99% of the time. And so the key thing to know, and something that I guess I just didn't pay attention to or didn't know, was that your fertility can come back at any time, and it can be different after each baby. So you can't always go by the fact that, well, I'm exclusively breastfeeding, and so it's not going to come back until I wean the baby. Or, like me, it didn't come back until 10 or 11 months after my first was born. So I thought we were in the clear for 10 or 11 months. But no. I was exclusively breastfeeding my baby and got pregnant. And I know that it's possible, but I just didn't consider that it was possible for me. So I wasn't paying attention as closely as I should. And so when we got pregnant...
She ain't got mud in her eye, and her feet is covered with whole mud.
Take her a towel outside, and she can clean it off. And she can turn on the water for a few minutes, and that's fine. Go. I'm going to keep going, because that's what happens. We were pregnant. I had a 5 to 6 month old. I had a 2-year-old, and I was going to have another baby in December before the 2-year-old turned 3. And I was going to have a 15-month-old and a 2-year-old, almost 3. And I was panicking. That's pretty much what it was. I was in a panic. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why we were pregnant. I didn't know how we got pregnant. I know how we got pregnant. I know how that works. But I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready. And in that panic, in that shock, there was a lot of guilt. I blamed myself. Part of me kind of blamed my husband. Part of me wanted to blame the system. Like, why didn't I figure this out? And I felt guilty for a really long time. It seemed like a really long time. I'm sure it wasn't but, a few weeks or so. But during that time, I kept looking at my baby thinking, I just want to keep breastfeeding her. I just want to breastfeed her. I don't want this milk to go away. I don't want to have to give her something else. I just want to breastfeed her as long as possible. and that was my priority. So I felt guilty that I wasn't going to be able to breastfeed her because I was pregnant. And so a lot of the time I actually had the prayer, like it was such a horrible feeling to desperately want to breastfeed that child. But to breastfeed that child for longer would mean that the pregnancy would have to end, probably, because my milk was going away. So long as the pregnancy was there, my milk was going away. And I know a pregnancy is a baby, and I know a pregnancy is a child, and it's a whole, complete person from conception. It is a complete person. So I was racked with this guilt that I was having a prayer that was like, God, I really am not praying for something bad to happen to this baby. I don't want to have a miscarriage, but I want to feed my baby. I want to breastfeed my baby as long as possible. And that was my prayer for a while, and I felt bad that some part of me kind of would have, I was like, does it mean that I would be okay, if I would be happy if I had a miscarriage? Which is a horrible thought. I wouldn't want my baby to die. Miscarriage is a horrible, painful experience. And so in the midst of that, I just felt like a rotten human being, that to keep one baby in the state that I thought was perfect for that baby. I thought breastfeeding this baby exclusively was perfect for that baby. That it meant that possibly I'd be okay if something happened to the baby that was inside of me. And I felt horrible because of that. And so I'm sure anyone could have told me, if I had actually vocalized any of those thoughts, that, I'm not a horrible person. Of course you want your baby to be good. Of course you want the baby inside of you to be okay. I just wanted to be able to breastfeed my baby. That's all I wanted. It just wasn't in the cards that way. So it took a while for me to figure out a way around that guilt in my head, in my heart, what I was thinking and what I thought I shouldn't be thinking and whatever. And what ended up happening was I finally thought I figured it out. And this is what I said to my husband one night. He was laying on the bed. I was just reading a book or something. And I just stood there and I said, okay, it's not your fault that we're pregnant. It's not my fault that I'm pregnant. It's because of God that this baby is here. God had me ovulate when I did. It's not because of NFP or our failure to follow the program. It was because God had me ovulate now, and God wanted us to have this third baby right now. And my husband, in all his wisdom, because he is a brilliant man and he's steeped in Catholic theology and he loves church history and he reads all these really profound writers, he just sat there and said, good for you, honey. I'm really glad that you came to this on your own. I know that's what you needed. And my first real thought was, well, when did you figure it out? Why didn't you tell me when you figured it out? I was suffering this whole time. What was happening? And he just said, I know you had to come to that on your own. I was like, well, you mean you already figured this out? I thought I was being the brilliant one here, like going through all this philosophy on my own. And he's like, oh no, I figured that out a while back, like probably the day that we tested positive. So he said, good for you. And that's really what I had to come to. And so if you are dealing with that situation, if you feel guilty for there being another child, just remember, it takes 3 people to make a baby. It is you, your spouse, your partner, preferably your spouse, and God. It is a 3-person marriage. It is you, your spouse, and God, the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ. And it takes all of you to make these babies. So that's my little tidbit for today. If you're sitting there racked with guilt, if you feel that you're having some pregnancy anxiety in that situation, definitely talk to somebody. Talk to your doctor, midwife, or practitioner the next time that you see them, or give them a call if it's going to be a while before your next appointment, and just tell them you think you're dealing with some anxiety or something during your pregnancy, or if you're postpartum or beyond and you feel like you're having something. I really want everyone to feel comfortable with asking for help and seeking that help and getting something. And if the first person tries to blow you off with some of your symptoms, but you are having difficulty coping at home or at work, then go back or find a different practitioner and just say, no, really, I really think I need something. So whether that's medication or prayer, diet change, supplements, I just want everyone to feel confident and strong and not feel ashamed about asking for help. So there's help out there, moms. You're going to be okay. It's all right. I wish I could just reach out and give you each a big hug, but instead I'm going to hug this crazy pants here on the bed, and then I'm going to go outside and probably have to spank someone for playing around in mud. Such is my life. So, bye y'all. Let me know how things are going, and be sure to share the Be Like Lilies Facebook page so that other moms can find out that they're not alone in this wonderful journey of motherhood, especially if you have anxiety. Thanks a bunch. Bye.